Round 15 of the 2009 FF1M Championship comes to you from Singapore, the street circuit under floodlights. Last season saw a terrific encounter. Anybody could have won that race. In the end, it came down to Robert Kubica taking advantage of a late pit stop for fresh tyres. One stops look like the order of the day. Everyone on the grid looks like they're going to do one stops. Whether it's a fuel stop or a tyre stop, we'll have to wait and see. Winners of the Singapore Grand Prix have included Michael Schumacher, Juan Pablo Montoya, Giorgio Pantano in that epic duel with Jenson Button in the 2008 race, and Robert Kubica. Kubica makes it safely through and into Q2. That session was topped by Rubens Barrichello, who dominated that session by an entire second. He didn't dominate Q2. In fact, he was all the way down in 9th place. It was Nico Rosberg that took pole position for Dark Wolf ahead of the other GRM of Sebastian Bourdais. An impressive lap from Kobayashi puts him third on the grid ahead of Buemi in 4th, last season's pole sitter at this circuit. Trulli makes it to Mitchells in the top 5. Jenson Button takes 6th ahead of Webber and Genet. The first of the championship contenders is all the way down in 10th place of Kimi Raikkonen. That itself is 3 places ahead of Lewis Hamilton. And that itself was 3 places ahead of Glock. So, on to what will be an interesting race for sure. 5 lights on, 5 lights out. And Rosberg's got away well. Buemi's made a good start, he's up to 3rd already, and Genet's made a good one from 8th. To first corner, that's contact. That involved Jenson Button, and there's cars all over the place. That's Bourdais, 2nd on the grid, Bourdais out of the race. I'm sure there's more cars in there, but we'll have to wait and see. But certainly Jenson Button, he's lost his front wing. Button's lost his front wing. Well, that was carnage. And all that moves is both Dark Wolves 1 and 2, so that's worked out well for Dark Wolf. Kimi Raikkonen safe in 6th place. And let's see down the order. Hamilton's had a dreadful first lap. He's lost his front wing as well. So Lewis has got it all to do. There's plenty of championship permutations here, but the simplest of which, if Hamilton wins, then Glock would be out of it, and Raikkonen would need a 4th place. But Nico Rosberg, that worked a dream for him because he was in front of the carnage when it happened. It looked like Button made an ambitious one at the inside, and that just left Buemi and Bourdais nowhere to go. Well, it hasn't done Buemi much harm. He's in 3rd place, getting a position from Kobayashi. Mark Webber up to 5th, so a good start from the Autodynamics, although he's got Kimi Raikkonen all over his gearbox. Raikkonen the first runner on the medium tyres, so you can expect him to have some cracking race pace. Rubens Barrichello's in 7th, Trulli 8th, Vettel 9th and Suttle 10th. Rosberg the fastest man on the track. He's got a 3.4 second lead over Genet. That is incredible. Raikkonen up the inside of Webber. That's 5th place. Kimi Raikkonen, the man who will be joined by Fernando Alonso, which will be a cracking lineup. Into the pits comes Hamilton, and no doubt Button will be in as well. There's yet another incident that Button's been involved in. I wonder that it was announced late because they weren't sure whether he would regain form. 11-second pit stop. So it does look like, well, it is a front wing stop, so we don't know whether it is just tyres or if any fuel was added in. Button rejoins ahead of Hamilton. He's got some clear track now, so he can set some fast laps in the Tornado. Meanwhile, Rosberg has gained another 3/10 over Genet, so he's extending it a bit. Now then, here's what happened. Hamilton 13th on the grid. Medium tyres not working brilliantly in qualifying, but Hamilton got a good launch there, but boxed in, and he got tagged already from behind. And there's where Glock took him. So incident in the first corner, and that was a spun Jensen Button, that, and mixing it with Kubica on his front left tyre. So Kobayashi, yeah, it was Jensen's fault, no question about that. And Kobayashi lucky to keep pointing the right way. Well, Button was ambitious and he paid for that price. Meanwhile, Rosberg sets the new fastest lap, and he's got the gap to Genet at 4.9 seconds. So looking pretty good for Dark Wolf at the moment. And Dark Wolf, I believe, yet to announce a second driver. They've got Kovalainen on board for next season. Genet retiring at the end of this season, and Rosberg over to Guy Racing. Gianna Trulli's got past Rubens Barrichello. The Mitchells on the move. And Buemi in particular, after his brilliant second place at Monza, running in third place, comfortably ahead of Kobayashi, who's defending from Raikkonen. Yeah, it's looking good for Mitchell, I have to say. They're currently 6th in the Constructors' Championship after their mega points haul, and not too far behind Pedersen. They've taken AJ for 6th place, and certainly if they stay where they are, they can pressure Pedersen. Meanwhile, back on the track, and Buemi's got a solid enough gap over Kobayashi, and it is Kobayashi that is defending from Raikkonen. And Buemi's not actually that far behind Genet, so we could see a battle for second place in the next few laps. And Genet definitely not as quick, so and Kobayashi defending a little bit there. And there's Webber, who hasn't dropped massive amounts of time just yet. But yeah, the Super Sauce not hanging on in the race at all. Another fastest lap for Rosberg at 50.3. That's 1 minute, 50.3. Now Raikkonen's got the run on Kobayashi. Got the inside into turn 1. That's mirroring his move on Webber. That's 4th place for Raikkonen. With Hamilton so far down the order thanks to his front wing change, this is a great opportunity for Raikkonen to close up the gap. Race winner at Monza, taking advantage of a DNF for Hamilton. That itself was Raikkonen's 3rd win of the season, having been previously at Monaco and Canada. And he looks good if he can get past Buemi to challenge for another win. Buemi blocking him a bit to turn 1. And leaving each other just enough space. And Buemi holds on to 3rd. This will allow Genet to pull away a little bit, giving an extra breathing space for Dark Wolf. And yellow flags down at turn 1, so someone's had an incident. It's Kubica, he's out of the race. And Raikkonen is getting out, going for a spin. Tagged the back of Buemi into the end of that back straight. He hasn't dropped too far back, I think that's 6th place. Yellow flag's now clear, but we'll see what happened to Kubica. Here's Barrichello holding up Glock. And Glock will have a go into turn 1, yep. Runs wide. And Barrichello spins and Kubica slams into the front of Rubens. So whilst they were clearing Kubica's car out of the way, did Barrichello leave his engine running and rejoin, I wonder? Don't think he did. And that's a shame for Barrichello, who dominated Q1, but couldn't quite get the tyres to work in Q2. This is Raikkonen on Trulli. So he's having a go at the other Mitchell. And he does the same thing again. Just runs into the back of him. You should not make the same mistake twice, but he has done. So a little bit dogged from Raikkonen, and more yellow flags. This time at turn 3, somebody's had a spin. In fact, yellow flags, and Lucas de Grassi's out of the race. That's a crash. That was an instant with Jensen Button, and yeah, de Grassi into the wall. And just about avoiding him. Well, it's not been a clean afternoon for the Tornadoes, and Hamilton tagging the back of a Shannon there. But he's got the run on him round the outside. That's some powerful, powerful shake and bake there. The Shannon not giving up. Hamilton leaving space, and the upper position goes Hamilton. Even after that pit stop, he's already caught up to back markers on lap 7. Looks like it's Bruno Senna. Now he's catching up to the third place man from the last race, Adrian Zaug, which was a hugely impressive effort from the South African. Into the final corner, and that's impressive, Lewis. Zaug seemed a bit startled, he ran wide himself. Now he's catching the back of Liuzzi. Now this is Raikkonen on Webber. And some yellow flags in the third sector, and Nelson Piquet's had an engine failure, so he's pulled off to the side of the track. Raikkonen, he's going to run wide there, and just about keep the car under control. In fact, the Webber spun it then, so that's the reason why we had yellow flags. He's rejoined safely. Just about, so that's Suttle behind him. There wasn't any contact. I think Webber just spun in sympathy. You can see Raikkonen sliding back onto the track and up into 5th. Glock inside of Zaug. Yep, Adrian Zaug losing a position. That's 14th place for Timo Glock. And Hamilton making a move on Kovalainen. And he's locked his rear wheels and he's spun it at turn 1, and Kovalainen's collected with him. And has Hamilton kept the engine running? He has done. Now he's behind his teammate, who's just gained a position. No, he hasn't. He's spun it. Glock has spun. Oh, Hamilton just about avoiding him there. That could have been an absolute disaster for Shake and Bake, and that is a disaster for Shake and Bake. Glock rejoining and Kovalainen losing a wheel in the process. I think Glock's okay there. Meanwhile, 15 seconds is the lead between the two Dark Wolves, first and second. It's looking quite peachy for Rosberg. And he's continuously pulling away from Genet as well. That was half a second alone in the first few corners. So, looking very, very handy for Rosberg with drivers in traffic. Raikkonen making 4th place of Kobayashi. Seems like the only threat really to Rosberg is Raikkonen, but if Raikkonen can stop his sloppiness, then if Raikkonen continues with his sloppiness, then Raikkonen doesn't really have a chance. And look at that, that is bullying from Hamilton. He just shunted Liuzzi out of the way, and Hamilton had a spin himself. That was poor driving from Lewis. I mean, he's in one of them moods, and Hamilton up in the air. Well, looking at his performance today, you wouldn't know that he'd be the championship leader, and by 29 points. Don't know what's going on with Lewis, but Raikkonen, that's 3rd place. No, it's not. Raikkonen spins it! And just about holding on, he's going around the outside of the turn 2, but I think his body works alright. Felipe Massa, 5th place for Massa, so he's kept it out of the wall. Now he's the top man on the medium tyres. And Massa started all the way down in 19th position as well. So he's kept it together, where everyone's lost their heads. Button in 9th place now, up inside of Liuzzi for 8th. That's clean. Speaking of clean, AJ failed to make it through into Q2 alongside Dodgem. They were particularly struggling on new medium tyres in Q1. Here is Lewis Hamilton now, with Zaug just behind him, and Zaug's got a problem. That was very slow from him. It's Timo Glock versus, I think it's Bruno Senna. Yes, it's Senna, because Kobayashi, Kovalainen was shunted out of the race. Raikkonen has taken Trulli, I think, has he? And Trulli's dropping back quite some way. There's been an incident, I'm sure of it. Raikkonen on Trulli. And shunting, that's a racing incident. And oh dear, the two tornadoes coming together there. But Raikkonen's car okay. They built that with iron girders by the looks of it. Raikkonen on Trulli take 2. And that's cleanly done this time. They've learnt their lesson, it seems. Yeah, it's been an absolutely dogged race from Raikkonen. Uncharacteristically, but dogged nonetheless. So lap 14, Rosberg has a 21-second lead over Genet. Hamilton and Glock swap positions on the track. Not in the points, it's for 12th place. So it's not worked out brilliantly for Schakenberg this race so far, but there's still a long way to go. Button versus Massa. Massa is being caught relentlessly by Button. Remember, Button did stop on the first lap for a front wing change and presumably for fresh tyres. So he's got a bit of a grip advantage. Massa is the top runner on medium tyres at the moment, but he looks like it's soon to be Jensen. Button will be driving for the team that he's chasing at the moment for next season. Massa's defending a little bit, but Button has got the inside. Watch it, boys. That's fine, no contact, and Button up to 5th. Button's teammate will be the FF1M contender. I don't think he won the championship, but Roman Grosjean had been signed on a 2-year deal. So Button and Grosjean looks like an exciting young team to watch. Or young, but exciting team to look out for. Not as exciting as the Raikkonen-Alonso partnership. Shades of 2000 when they drove for MRD. And Jensen Button absolutely flying at the moment. He's taken Kobayashi on this lap, and he's closing in. He will close in on Buemi relentlessly on this lap, and probably will have an opportunity. Meanwhile, we have a look at Sebastian Vettel being challenged by Schakenberg at the final corner, and Vettel has flipped upside down and he's losing his wheels. Ah, there goes the final wheel. It's Hamilton again. Button versus Buemi, and the same thing, but no carnage this time. Jensen Button loses position to Kobayashi, loses a position to Massa and to Raikkonen. Stays ahead of Trulli. But well, that's a missed opportunity. Now it's Raikkonen versus Massa into turn 1 on lap 20. Massa moving about all over the place. In fact, Raikkonen being pressured by Button. So, three-way battle for 5th place and to be the top runner on medium tyres. That incident between Button and Buemi has moved Kobayashi up to 3rd place. Button having a look up the inside of that right-hand kink there, but that's unadvisable, especially against your own teammate. These championship contenders, perhaps Glock aside, but certainly Raikkonen and Hamilton look like amateurs in this race, quite frankly. With Hamilton getting in too many incidents and Raikkonen making the same mistake twice by hitting the back of Mitchell. But they're still in the race, and they've still got their heads together just about, because they've not got into any further collisions yet. Let's find out. Button taking the outside line of Raikkonen, and Raikkonen shutting the door. Into this fiddly section, a sequence of 6 90-degree corners in a row. That's 2 of them gone already. And the next one goes underneath the grandstand, which is a cute novelty. Then the next one, which is another 90. Then the final of the 2 90s. This last one a bit more open. Gives some acceleration at the ends. Now this double left-hand corner, which we've seen incidents, and Raikkonen pits for his pit stop. Let's see how quick this is, and it is for tyres. 3.7. The AFI are testing bigger fuel tanks to run for next season. 1 stops for tyres. The drivers can pit any time they want. I think they may be trialling out this time. They did that last season as well. Alonso for FJR was one of the first to pit, and it helped for most of it. Up until Guy Racing, who pitted later for tyres. That helped him massively, which helped Kubica to win that race. And you can see already Raikkonen was closing in relentlessly on one of the autodynamics. You will hear his button on Massa. Looks like Button could do it at the next lap. Well, Massa's been defending well, if not a bit swervedly, if that is such a word. Haven't seen much of the Dark Wolves lately. The lap 22, and it's 33 seconds the lead between Rosberg and Genet. Well, Rosberg could make a pit stop and rejoin still in the lead, which is very impressive actually against your own teammate. Buemi makes a pit stop from 4th place, so this will promote these 2 up the order. And Jensen's got a better run now into turn 1. Massa gives him space, and Button not quite alongside enough to make that move stick. 3.5 from Buemi, that's very good. He's losing positions there, but he's got tyres now. This could jump him ahead of Kobayashi, possibly Genet for 2nd place, depending on how quickly the Dark Wolves can respond. And Rosberg's got all the time in the world. He could make a pit stop and make a bacon sandwich if he wanted to, and still be in the lead. He's got that much of a lead. Raikkonen versus Trulli for 7th place, and just up front of them is Lewis Hamilton. There's the pit stop graphic. Trulli's not made a stop. Hamilton has, but that was on the first lap for a front wing, so no doubt he'll be coming into the pits again soon. And Trulli missing the first apex there of the Singapore sling. Now as they go over the Anderson Bridge into a tight left-hand corner. And in fact, Raikkonen's having a look up there. That's a nice move from Raikkonen. That was brilliant. You don't normally see overtaking into that corner. Hamilton did have a look at Bruno Senna into that one, but didn't even get alongside him. But Raikkonen made that absolutely count. Now he's got Hamilton in his sights. This is the championship battle, although not a pure championship battle, because Raikkonen is on 20 or so laps newer tyres than Hamilton. Jensen Button versus Massa. Massa in fact in the pits for his tyre stop. How quick will this stop be? And that's 3.7. Probably not the most accurate pit stop graphic in the world, but pit stops between 3.5 and 4 seconds. So Massa comes out of the pits, 9th place at the moment, 10th place now. behind an autodynamics. Looks like Liuzzi. And that's round the outside into turn 4. That's how much grip Massa had. So new tyres. It depends which way you look at it in the new tyres. If you can get the early advantage of hitting early, or you can be absolutely demon fast late in the race. That was the tactic that worked last season. Let's see how much it works this time round. Massa having a look into the Singapore sling and nearly having a spin. He's awkward on the track, that's dangerous. And that's very unorthodox, Felipe, but at least you're back on the track. Raikkonen versus Hamilton now, 5th place, as Massa has made his pit stop and botched his outlap. Opportunity into turn 1, it seems. Not close enough into the final corner. Here we go, Raikkonen in the slipstream and Hamilton pulling away. That's the shake and make straight line speed. And Tornado famously doesn't have any. The 2008 season was particularly case in point of that. Better grip, which won them the championship, but in terms of straight line, they were struggling. You can see it again. Raikkonen getting nowhere in the slipstream, but braking way too late and tagging the back of Hamilton. Lewis will not like that. In fact, nobody will like that. Slightly different from his 2 earlier contacts at that particular corner with Buemi and Trulli. As this time round, it was at the apex. Braking for the Singapore sling. Very awkward chicane. Certainly unique, I'll give it that. Not trying his move into the tight left hairpin at the Anderson Bridge this time. Wasn't close enough that time. You can see again Hamilton pulling away on the straight. Raikkonen's going to have to do something special to get past here. Better be careful that Buemi doesn't catch him up too quickly. So Raikkonen does need to get past quickly. But if you can't do it on the straights, where can he do it? And all this is allowing Button to pull away from these two. Let's try again into turn 1, Kimi. Maybe not. And tagging the back of him again. Well, he's playing dodgems with him. Seems like he's trying to use dirty tactics to try and get past. Let's puncture the tyre of Hamilton. It's a bit scruffy, but at least they're both still in the race at the moment. You know, Button's got past Kobayashi for 4th place. And once again, Raikkonen braking a bit too late, but no contact this time, and he made the apex. But you get the feeling that Raikkonen's getting a bit impatient. This is for 2nd place. Button taking Genet into turn 1. Now he's free. He can set off after Rosberg if he much desired. I think both of them still have to make another pit stop. So all of a sudden, Button's become the new threat to Rosberg for the lead. Kobayashi looking at Genet for 3rd place. Genet is struggling on these worn out tyres now. And look behind them as well, that's Hamilton and Raikkonen. The battling Dodgem pair. Not the team Dodgem, but the literal Dodgems. The bumper cars. That was a bit of an awkward line from Kobayashi. This could give Hamilton an opportunity to get past into the Anderson hairpin. Not close enough, it seems. Look at this. This has become a five-way battle for third place between Genet, Kobayashi, Hamilton, Raikkonen and Buemi. Hamilton looking round the outside there. And that was brave, but not coming off. And he's compromised his line as well, but he's got it back together. Into the stadium section, so it seems. Going underneath the grandstand, no point if the fans can't even see what's happening. Tricky corner that one, because there's no run-off zone, so if you make a mistake, then that's it. Now then, let's see what happens into lap 27. Oh, this could be carnage, but let's have a look. Hamilton, that's slipstreamed past him. Very slow at the apex, but fourth place for Hamilton. At this rate, not enough to secure the championship. He needs to win. But again, ran the outside into that corner and not quite managing it. Now he's got the Mitchell alongside him. It was Massa that tried that earlier on, but not quite working out. Someone may make that move stick. Not getting good traction out of that particular corner. Genet's got Hamilton all over the back of him. And Raikkonen nearly tagging the back of Kobayashi at the sling. And there he goes, Raikkonen up the inside into the hairpin. The Anderson hairpin. Another impressive move. Now Kobayashi's got Buemi all over the back of him. So Kobayashi's struggling on his old tyres. He will have an advantage when he pits for his new tyres, but he's losing so much time now, he needs to pit. And immediately Raikkonen's caught up to the back of Hamilton. So the next lap is where we can see what might happen next. It was last season, I think, and Hamilton up the inside and he's made contact, and that moved Raikkonen up the order. And Hamilton's dropped back again. It's always a risky one into that corner, and he took Vettel out there, and he nearly did the same thing to Genet. And there goes the Dark Wolf 1-2 that has been for 28 laps. Now it's, well, actually Button got past Genet cleanly, so Dark Wolf 1-2 only lasted a few laps less than that. Buemi's got ahead of Kobayashi now, and now he's got Marc Genet in his sights. But that is a crucial move now, because Raikkonen in third place, and he's made a pit stop. I would still imagine that Rosberg is in the best seat for the victory. Although the nearest contender would be Jenson Button, because I believe Button does have to make another stop. Can't really get to the end of the race on a single set of tyres after pitting on lap 1. Genet defending a little bit into the Anderson hairpin. Going underneath the whiskey banner, Johnny Walker. Not a chance into the sector 3 right-hander. There'll be no chance at the sequence of 6 90-degree corners. So the next opportunity will be into turn 1, maybe the final corner, if you can really make it stick. But as we've seen from Hamilton, moves into the final corner. He's going to have a look, he's going to have a look. Oh, and that's some defensive driving from Genet. He's saying, if you're going to get past me, you're going to have to do it into turn 1. But Buemi's not close enough. Oh, look at that! Hamilton's surprised Buemi there into turn 1. A terrific onboard shot. And Buemi's still got Kobayashi behind him. And Kobayashi's not made the pit stop into turn 4. Hamilton taking a position away from Genet. I think Genet's tyres have given up. I think Hamilton may need to make another pit stop because he was another driver that pitted on lap 1. You can see the pit stop counter. Don't know the gaps between Rosberg and the rest of the field. It would be nice to have a look. Buemi versus... That's Genet. And Buemi up the inside is looking to do a Raikkonen. Not quite. Far enough alongside. Now Buemi better be careful, Kobayashi's still about. Oh dearie me, Buemi up the inside and no contact, that's impressive. Kobayashi pits. Genet doesn't. And now Massa's got past him. Well, he's alongside him at least. He's got past him now. Felipe Massa up to 6th place. Jenson Button closing in on Rosberg because he's lap 30. Here's Rosberg. Bang on half distance. Looking quite steady through there, I have to say. And in the pits comes Rosberg, so bang on half distance for him. A new set for soft tyres. Button could carry on if he wished. It was at the 2006 Singapore Grand Prix where we witnessed the only red flag of the FF1M career. I think it was Alexander Wirtz that was stuck, but I'm not quite sure, but Michael Schumacher went on to take the victory there. Rosberg rejoins still in the lead. So that's worked out very nicely for Nico. We got an instant down into sector 3. That's the right-hander. Looked like a spinner from somebody. Into the pits comes Hamilton, so his second stop for tyres. This will put him down the order a little bit. 5th already, 6th already. It'll be 7th. We could rejoin in 7th place ahead of Trulli. Meanwhile, after his pit stop, Rosberg now 3.6 seconds ahead of Button. We have to keep an eye on the gaps between Rosberg and Raikkonen because that is 7.6. Rosberg on fresher tyres, but they are the soft tyres, Raikkonen on mediums. Kobayashi having a look at Trulli. Not close enough in the end. In fact, Trulli's not made a pit stop yet. So he's holding up Kamui. Trulli defending into the Singapore sling and missing the first apex. His tyres are completely had it. Up the inside into the Anderson Bridge, Kobayashi has done something that only Raikkonen has done, and that's an overtake into that hairpin. And Hamilton right behind him. And that's the first overtake that I've seen into the grandstand corner. That was... And here's a replay of it. Hamilton versus Trulli. Trulli on completely useless tyres. And there we go. There's the first time for everything. Now he's after Kobayashi for 7th place. Raikkonen versus Button now. Button dropping back on his old tyres. Rosberg's pulled out a 9.5 second lead over Button. Sensible thing here would be to let Raikkonen through so that he'd have the best chance of winning the race and taking a huge dent out of Hamilton's championship lead. He's got a good slipstream. Up the inside goes Raikkonen. Button did make him work for a little bit, but cleanly done in the end. Pretty sure Button will be into the pits for some new tyres soon. He could still rejoin ahead of Buemi for third place. Tornado looking good. Not seen as many retirements as usual so far. The Tornado's 66 points behind Shake and Bake in the Constructors' Championship. Got some yellow flags down at turn 1. And Hamilton's out! His engine's blown up! That is quite disappointing, that, for Shake and Bake. He's only running in 8th place, but every point counts, and just pulling off. Black smoke billowing out like a chimney. So that's his second retirement in a row since his... that was another engine problem in Monza, I believe. Third place Button, making a pit stop. The target is to get out ahead of Buemi, so he's got 26 laps on. And this is quite a long stop for Button. That's strange. Almost as if they were putting fuel into the car. But anyway, he's rejoined. It's going to be close, and that's Buemi got past him for third place. So Button has to overtake a car. But aside from his first lap calamity, Button's been quite clean in this race. And already closing up behind him. On these new mediums, Button will absolutely fly once he can get past Buemi. He rejoined ahead of Massa, which was important. Meanwhile, Raikkonen's not closing in on Rosberg at all, he's dropping back. It's 11 seconds, the gap between Rosberg and Raikkonen, so staying out's paid off for Rosberg, and he has got the tyres to control it. Buemi completely missing the first apex for the Singapore Sling. Meanwhile, Timo Glock's moved up to 8th place, and with Hamilton out, he will still be in contention for the championship come the next race, which is at the a brand new event in USA. We've been to USA before, but not the Infineon Raceway in California. In fact, it's not the first time we've been to California. We went to Laguna Seca in 1998, where we had Montoya taking pole position and had his engine blow up whilst in the lead. In that race, it was Schumacher 1-2 with Michael ahead of Ralph, and that was Frenzen's first race as well, having replaced Alan McNish, and promptly took the podium position, third place for Frentzen. Button up the inside into the final corner, barging his way past Buemi, and this will give Massa an opportunity into turn 1. And Buemi being a bit cheeky and shutting the door. But if you called Buemi unfair on that, that's small potatoes on Button, just barging his way past. Massa was one of the first to pit. And so was Buemi as well, for that matter, so quite even in terms of tyre life, but of course Massa on the mediums, which is a better race tyre. Glock's taken Genet for 7th, I've just seen on the screen, but Genet's taken it back. So it looks like those two are having a real fierce battle. And Glock's taken it now. Trulli in the pits for his stop at last. He will fly on these tyres, but he's dropped so much time, then new tyres are pretty useless if you're out of the top 8. So the attention now focused on the battle for 4th place between Buemi and Massa. Genet's not made a pit stop, so his tactic of staying out has not paid off either. He's dropped well behind the one stoppers that have made a stop. Okay, so Felipe Massa's next opportunity will be into turn 1, if he can get close enough. Fastest lap for Button of 45. Now that's very fast. Massa not close enough in the end, so he will have to just bide his time and see where he can just study Buemi's lines, see where he's slow and see if he can get past using that. There's still a drive available for Felipe at Dark Wolf if Dark Wolf attempted by the Brazilian. He's had quite a checkered career, has Massa. He's been in and out at FF1M quite a few times. He was dropped by Gi Racing at one point and then went to FF2M and then rejoined FF1M for FJR. He's without a drive at the moment for the 2010 season, and only one seat available as well. It's a very, very good race actually. He's gained 14 positions. Glock's gained 9, Raikkonen has gained 8. Certainly with the way the race is looking now, with only 23 laps to go, 8 is all that Raikkonen will gain, because Rosberg has been absolutely impeccable. On these slightly soft tyres as well, which makes his performance even more impressive. Massa seems quicker through the 690 section, but Buemi seems to have got a bit more traction, so Massa can't close up at the final corner to have a look at the Swiss driver into turn 1. Look at this jam of cars here. That's Trulli being lapped actually. He's behind an Andy Racing of Suttil. In Singapore Sling, and look at that! Suttil nearly stopping. And Trulli hit the back of him. The car's fine. Yeah, that'll have caught him by surprise. Still, at least he's got a massive gap over Bruno Senna. Now, just checking around the outside into that corner and the big shunt there. Massive shunt for Trulli. He's lost a wheel as well. We've seen that move a few times, but just this time round there was not enough space. Rear wing and rear wheel gone. I think the Andy Racing's okay. Incredibly. Massa versus Buemi now. And he's dummied him into turn 6 and a bit of bumping, but Massa up to 4th. And that will be enough to move them past Gi Racing in the Constructors' Championship. Kobayashi's taken Buemi now. Buemi's struggling. Kobayashi flying on new tyres, it seems. And Kobayashi tyres are newer. Had a good race, this Kobayashi. Started 3rd on the grid. Is this the 2 Tornadoes? Button absolutely flying. That's incredible. It's all about tyre grip here. Glock's got Buemi as well. So Glock moves up to 6th place. Hamilton retiring would have kept Glock in the championship hunt at the next race. Button up the inside into turn 1, he's going to run wide. No, he's not. Button's held it together. Now all of a sudden he's after Rosberg for the lead of the race. 15 laps to go. How quickly can he close that gap? He's already pulled away massively from Raikkonen. This race is still on. Gap's 10.3, it's 18.3 actually. This is where Glock's got ahead of Buemi. It's the dummy again into the corner, the same move that Massa pulled on Buemi. This time with no contact. Mark Webber's moved up to 8th place. And yeah, Button is closing in on Rosberg. That's 12.1 seconds with 13 laps to go. He can do it, he can do it. He's still in for an absolutely barnstorming finish. What a shame for Rosberg if he loses the lead. He's driven perfectly. But nevertheless, the race is 61 laps, not 48. That's 7/10 in the first sector alone. And the first sector doesn't really have much corners to play with. Although Button has got some traffic in front of him that he needs to negotiate. That's Genet, I think. He's about to go a lap down. And Genet's just got ahead of Webber for the final points position. See the gap now, and it's 10.0. I'll be predicting around lap 53 if Button can clear this traffic quickly. And this is lap 50. It's down to 5.6 seconds. Dark Wolf are going to be worried now. But Button has still got these two cars. It's Senna and Genet to clear. Genet could do Rosberg a massive favour by holding up Button. Genet's got his own worries to worry about. Trying to lap Senna around the outside, which he's done successfully. Senna bound for autodynamics for next season, alongside Mark Webber. So Webber returned for another season. Down in 9th at the moment, but anything can happen in these last 11 laps. Now Button about to lap Genet. Button did lose a 1/10 of a second behind Rosberg, and now he's got past. And already it's 3.1 seconds. 10 laps to go. There's Rosberg. And Button, the flying Button. Well, he's pushed the button. The speed button. Helps if you have fresh tyres, of course. But yeah, it's been an absolutely brilliant fight back from Button. He's kept out of most of the trouble since the lap 1 incident. Lap 1 mistake that he made, trying to take two cars at once. It were Bourdais and Buemi into turn 1. Resulted in him having a spin and then being collected by Hamilton. But now with 10 laps to go, he can sniff victory. Rosberg, it seems, can't really have an answer for him. Two champions, of course. Rosberg won the 2006 FF1M Championship with FJR in that spectacular duel with Shannon's Vitantonio Liuzzi. Next season, Rosberg will be partnering Robert Kubica at Guy Racing, so that'll be a strong partnership. Rosberg looking to reignite his championship hunger. And now Jensen's within striking distance. Current world champion at the moment, but won't retain it. He's already too far behind. Has scored 2 victories though, one in Belgium in that wet weather race and in Imola, beating the Shake and Bakes fair and square. Now how early can Button attack? Won't do it into the grandstand corner, Hamilton's overtaking spot, if you're lucky. He could try it in the final corner if he really wanted to. It's just too far back there, so it will be turn 1. that he'll have a look at, and look at that. That's the grip of mediums versus the slightly older softs. It's turn 1. He's already having a look, and into the lead goes Button. Jenson Button takes the lead. Certainly wouldn't have been saying that after lap 1. Now Rosberg, well, he's dropping back already. This race looks like it's going to be Buttons for the taking. So it's looking like a good day for Tornado, their drivers first and third. Marc Genet versus Sebastian Buemi for 7th place. And we did see Genet make a late pit stop for tyres. Clearly much quicker than Buemi. In fact, he's being lapped by Rosberg now. Button now on 5 laps remaining. That's how much he's pulled away from Rosberg. That is some quick pace from that Tornado. Now here we go. Genet up the inside. Looks like a clean overtake. At 7th place, and how far is he behind Glock? Well, I'd like to have a look. Here we go. 21 seconds, and crossing the first sector, 21.2. It's too far back. So Glock looks like he's got 6th place secured. It's been a long career for Dark Wolf and Marc Genet. Spent 8 seasons, matching the record set by Jean Alesi and FJR. Their 8 seasons in a row. Comprised of many teammates, including Cristiano De Mata. And of course, Nico Rosberg. Is this Raikkonen behind Rosberg? It is, yes. Tornado's day looks as if it could get even better. All over the back of the Dark Wolf. It's hard to think that on lap 20 Rosberg had this race sewn, a 30 odd second lead over his teammate. Now with 3 laps to go, he's quite a way behind Button and under pressure from Raikkonen. Of course, this would, if Raikkonen could get past, this would spice up the championship a bit more. 21 points between Hamilton and Raikkonen, if Raikkonen can overtake. So at the moment it is 29. Having a look into turn 1. And that's 2nd place for Raikkonen. Tornado's running 1 and 2. Well, they're showing the gaps between Button and Raikkonen. That just shows how much Button's pulled away on his ridiculously fresh tyres. It's 26 seconds between himself and Raikkonen. And he's pulled that out in 6 laps. That is unbelievable. Jenson Button on his penultimate lap at the moment. Got some traffic behind and in front of him. That's Felipe Massa in front of him, who is nearly a lap down. It's been quite a good drive from Massa. He's gained 15 positions, having kept out of a lot of the trouble that the majority of these runners have got themselves into maybe due to the nature of the circuit. It is unbelievably tight. It's like a second Monaco, or a Monaco under floodlights. A little bit wider than Monaco, and there probably are more opportunities to overtake. If only Jensen hadn't got into so many incidents at the start in the other races, otherwise he'd be challenging for a double world championship, but it's not meant to be for Jensen. But coming out of the Singapore sling now, he's got Massa in front of him. Now, worst case scenario for Shake and Bake would be if Button were to collide with Massa and lose his wheels, because that would move Raikkonen into the lead, and even closer to Hamilton in the championship. But Button doesn't look close enough to do that. Although I have seen weirder things in FF1M. Such as the last lap where Timo Glock completely obliterated Rubens Barrichello in, it was 2005 I think it was, at the final corner of Silverstone. No such worries for Jensen this time, coming out the final corner to take his third win of the season. And there you have it. A long, gruelling afternoon, or evening under Singapore floodlights. And it's a 1-2 for Tornado as well. Nico Rosberg, the most impressive one out of that race, and his reward only third place. Seems a bit cruel, but that's the nature of the soft tyres. Massa taking fourth place. Massa was on the mediums, he wasn't on the softs. Kobayashi, impressive race for him after starting third on the grid, holding on with his softs. Glock sixth, and with that sixth place moves him 31 points behind Hamilton. Raikkonen even closer, 21 points now behind Lewis after another DNF for him. And Button's win moves him ahead of Vettel in the Drivers' Championship. And Vettel not completely safe from Massa with the way Felipe is going at the moment. There's the Constructors, Shake and Bake 49 points ahead of Tornado. It's not over yet, and Massa's fourth place move FJR third ahead of Gee Racing. So we'll see you for the next race at the Infineon Raceway in California.